Internal memory is great. It's excellent. There's only like 5.1 or something gigabytes available, but the benefit to having an external card is, as long as you're providing battery to the device and you can switch out your cards, it gives you longer sessions of recording. Albeit this is not 4K, 120 frames per second, but it is a perspective that is very unique. Even more so than, like, say, the GoPro, where I put my GoPro on my head mount, and I always have to wonder. I have to try to pair it with my iPad or my phone to see if it's looking at what I want it to be looking at. Whereas with the Blade, I can see what I'm recording because there's a what do you call it, like an LCD, screen image of what, well, it's not an LCD, but basically there's an image in the waveguide that shows me exactly what's in frame. Now I can turn that off or turn that on, but I know exactly what I'm recording. I know what's in the shot. And, that's, in my opinion, that's pretty nice. Now it would be nice if you could get, the types of cameras that we have on modern smartphones in a device like this, because then, you're getting that first person perspective without the compromise of video quality. But for right now, I kind of look at this as, if you go back to original smartphones, they weren't of, the greatest quality, but it was like what they say all the time, that crazy cliche, it's the camera that you have. But anyways, it's super, to me, it's cool to have a piece of technology like this that gives me the ability to, like, say, when I'm working on my car, I'm able to disassemble the car, because I'm not a professional certified mechanic, but I find a great deal of savings in working on my own vehicles. And let's say I take something apart and it's got more than 10 pieces that I've had to remove, I may actually forget where everything goes. Well, with these glasses, I can put this footage on my computer and go back and scan and see what I took off where and how, because different things are put together in kind of, different ways. I also, like, I'll work on my own computers. Like, I actually had I have a Surface Pro 4, and it suffered from the battery bulge, and it was all, the screen had separated from the actual body of the Surface Pro. And I spent probably like $1,200 on that thing, and of course it was out of warranty. So what did I do? I went online and I looked up the battery, and I went and I bought the battery. And at that time, because I felt like, well, hell, why not do this with all your electronics, I invested in one of those kits that you can buy, that those that people, computer repair people, or I don't know, all their tools, if you will. So I purchased that, and I took that Surface Pro apart, and it wasn't without, some degree of it wasn't without issue, because I actually damaged the screen when I did it. Not because I physically broke it, but because I actually used a heat gun that was probably way too hot for that screen, and I damaged the screen. But I mean, by that time, I had taken the device all the way apart. I replaced the battery, and I ended up ordering another screen, put the screen in there, and then I ended up having some issue where the camera wasn't working. So I ordered another camera, and I put it all back together, and it's not perfect. Granted, for some reason I can't get the touch screen in the center of the screen to work, but what I was able to accomplish with that Surface Pro, which would have simply been e-waste. My daughter now uses it. That thing, I changed it from having a 256 gigabyte SSD to having a 1 terabyte drive, and I replaced the battery, and I replaced the camera, and I replaced the screen. As I said, the functionality of the screen is not, you know, complete. I have to do more research to figure that out, but I've replaced the screen twice, and I just don't know what I'm doing wrong as far as the center of the screen, but it's still a usable computer. It doesn't have all the touch features that it had when it was bought new, but I have to say, you know, it's better off now where, you know, I'm able to use it as a PC, get on the internet, mouse and keyboard, just like the old school laptops that didn't have a touch screen. I'm able to use it, you know, and it didn't cost me another $1,000, you know, to get it to that usable state. Now, if I continue to tinker with it and toy with it, I'm convinced that I could figure out why the center of the screen is not working. But that was acceptable for me to get to that win, because it does get to a point to where, you know, you don't want to spend, you know, an incredible amount of money on something, you know, like that. But, you know, as I said, just, would you rather have a laptop with a bulging battery and having to find some kind of e-waste place to throw away that $1,200, or would you rather invest a little bit of money and rehabilitate the laptop, at least to usability, but then also gain that skill? So now I won't be afraid to do that on another electronic. And that's kind of how I am with everything. That's how I am with my vehicles. That's how I am with, you know, things that break around the house. I just challenge myself to try to figure it out, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I have all respect for professionals that do their trades, but not everybody has professional money, you know, and I have come to find that, you know, in order for me to be able to feed my family and do the things I need to do, some of these things I'm just, you know, I have to do it myself. No other way around it. You can't afford to pay a premium for every single thing in life. That's madness. It's just not possible. You know, you find yourself only being able to pay for 2 or 3 things. You know, it's kind of like, you know, my wife's from Trinidad, and she come here and it's like, you can buy anything you want for as cheap as you want or for as expensive as you want, you know, and it's very true. Such a wide variety. And I, you know, over time you begin to learn that when you buy the cheapest thing, you end up spending more money in the end, because you're going to have to buy it over and over and over again. But it's, you know, when you look at things short-sighted, you buy the cheapest thing because you think you're saving money. And in reality, you buy the cheapest thing, yeah, all you're doing is throwing your money away. In some aspects, with certain things, it's like you might as well not spend the money at all. You might as well not have the product at all, rather than buying something for cheap only to have it, you know, fail on you, and you have to buy it again, and you've built a relationship with that particular product, and it makes you feel like, oh, I need this in my life. Well, you just, you know, basically it's like when I took a business class in college, and I realized that I was not a businessman from that standpoint, because it says, you know, my business instructor, I remember he said, you need to manufacture a need. Well, I don't want anybody to manufacture a need in me, you know. So, you know, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I'm not really trying to manufacture a need in somebody else. I'm not trying to make someone else feel as though they need something that I develop or that I lead them to. Rather, if they want it, if they see me using something and they like it and they want to utilize it and they want to buy it, great, you know. But you know, I don't really, you know, I don't want anybody trying to jam anything down my throat, and it's not my intent to try to jam anything down somebody else's throat. And you know, I don't know, it's just a ramble and a rant, and I'm just walking at a normal pace and recording as I go. And it just kind of gives you a little bit of a, you know, gives you an opportunity vicariously to experience what it would be like to wear a pair of smart glasses, specifically the Vuzix Blade. Now, there is a version of these that actually does record up to 4K 30 frames per second, but I paid, I want to say, like, with my glasses inserts, I probably paid $1,000 for these glasses that I'm wearing now, and those are like 1.5 times more, you know. And it's not actually a full pair of glasses, it's actually an apparatus that kind of attaches to a pair of glasses. Not sure if it will attach to a regular pair of glasses, but I'm sure with the 3D printer and all that, you could probably configure something up. But it would definitely look even more space aged than this that I have. Anyway, thanks for taking the time to watch the video. You have a great day.